Oh, welcome to the Wellbeing Podcast.
Where we never miss a beat.
Oh, that was awful. That was so not planned. I'm speechless.
It just came to me during the song.
Oh, anyway.
You know I love my puns.
You do love your puns. Well, welcome to the Wellbeing Podcast. I'm here with a guest host, as you can imagine from previous podcasts, Lauren from thebikiniexperiment.com. We had talked about that she'd been getting a whole bunch of questions on social media and through her blog and about women's health and fitness. And I've had a couple of recent female clients with training, and I wanted to kind of talk a little bit more about some questions that the ladies are having. And what better to answer ladies' questions than a lady?
Oh my god. The auditions for the lounge lizard are out in the hallway.
Oh, almost hit the wrong door.
Wrong audition. So
welcome to our Q&A about ladies.
Oh my god.
And I don't know, you've Lauren, you've had a ton of huge stuff going on. I mean, you just got accredited as a nutrition coach, and
yes,
your blog is building a following that you're really starting to, I can see, impact women's lives. And
I'm a busy lady.
Oh god, now that's your fault. And
I couldn't help it, but yeah, no, I've been really busy with getting my accreditation for my nutrition certification, and like you said, with the blog, I've been doing it. I sort of had a soft start. I was sort of blogging very sporadically, and then I got much more serious about it late over the summer, probably back in August. And I've noticed that, especially the past couple of weeks with the blog and with social media, I've been getting a lot of great feedback, a lot of questions, and I have been noticing a theme with some of the questions. So when we were talking, it seemed like this could be a great forum to sort of talk those through and maybe help some other people.
Yeah, it's great. It's been really cool to see. You worked really hard on just really digging into. I think you've had such an amazing journey in your experience through eating, and you're still very much of a developing athlete in your training sense, but I think you have so much a life experience with being a vegetarian, and then long time vegetarian, mm-hmm. and now not very much so not. You eat all the various animals, and
well, I mean, maybe it's not politically correct to say, but I guess I feel if you're eating meat, you can't really be so discriminatory. I mean, I guess we have what falls more into our comfort zone, but when you've mentioned, trying these various things, I'm like, well, I can't really discriminate against that type of meat. Mm. So, yeah, now I pretty much eat everything, so.
And that came from, in a lot of other stories I've heard about, vegans, like even more to one side than even like just a pure vegetarian, starting to eat meat. It really comes from this just profound feeling like there's something missing in your diet, that you just don't feel well. And how would you say you feel differently, like just feeling, and then we'll look at looks wise, but like feeling different from when you were a vegetarian?
I think I have more energy than when I was a vegetarian. I mean, I'd probably say that pretty consistently. It's kind of funny because, in a way, I mean, I was much younger when I was a vegetarian now, and now I'm a little older, but I'd still say my energy is a lot more consistent now. And I also found like one of the hardest parts of being a vegetarian was sort of just trying to find ways to feel full, feel satiated after my meals, because you default to a lot of whole grains, a lot of pastas, a lot of carbs, and gluten, and you feel full afterwards, but then sort of a couple hours later you fall into this sort of thing where you're hungry again. So it's just very hard to it's just very hard to feel satisfied. And I think that depending on your reasons for being a vegetarian, I have seen various people decide to experiment with eating meat protein again. And the way I did it, and I mean, it's certainly a personal choice, but I sort of did it very, very slowly because your body's just not accustomed to eating it. I very gradually added in fish. And even that, I mean, it wasn't a plan to start eating meat again. I sort of just started experimenting with eating fish maybe once a week, maybe twice. And then much, much later, it kind of evolved to include chicken and then red meat. So it was a very, very slow process, and I found that worked for me. And I am reading just a lot in different blogs and stuff that people are saying, I'm adding in some chicken again, or, I'm doing this and that. And I remember even there's a couple of, even very famous vegans who've been, established with cookbooks and baking books and such, and they've gone completely in the other direction, and they're eating bone marrow. So, you see a wide array out there of these stories of people who who became vegan for health conscious choices, and for whatever reason it's not working for them, and they're looking to go outside of that.
We sort of know why it's not working, because it's so deplete in so many of the essential areas. And when essential is used in the dietary realm, in the eating realm, really what that word is supposed to mean, translated for people who don't know that, is it cannot be made by the human body. And there are so many aspects, vitamins, minerals, proteins, aminos, essential amino acids, meaning like things that are you cannot actually get without ingesting them, and that are vital to your survival. And I think that people who turn to these ways, because I think they have initial success, because like flat out they're just removing the toxins that I think are just overwhelming,
and the hormones,
right?
And all the conventional
100%.
Meats and chicken. Yeah, right. Of course you'd probably have that initial feeling where you're like, wow, I feel great.
Right, because you're removing a lot of the things that are causing problems, right? So a lot of the additives, you're removing toxins, right? You're removing the hormones that are fed to conventional meats. And I think that just that almost detox makes you feel better, but then all the stuff that you don't have, I think, catches up with you. And that's when, if you look at it almost as a brief detox, yeah, there's benefit in it, but you have to start getting back and learning, well, why was that so damaging? It wasn't meat. It was what that particular animal was being fed. And I think that's what we're really discovering in this new kind of shift going forward, is that it's not meat's good or bad. It's what have we done to it?
Well, also, too, that's kind of interesting, and that's why I think when you started the show, you referenced the fact that it's been a journey for me. And yeah, it's kind of was a journey to go from being a vegetarian to eating meat again. And even with eating meat now, there's a journey into finding those better sources, to looking at it and saying, is there a better way? Can I improve my approach? And there definitely is. So I think variety, or there meats, maybe that I'm eating that aren't working for me. Why aren't they working for me? So I think the whole process there's just constant learning. There's always more out there.
Oh, absolutely. And kind of even to expand then on that learning aspect, what I've seen you do is like you have all this experience, and I've personally watched you transform, I guess, because I met you when you were at the very tail end of your vegetarianism and starting to just add chicken and stuff.
Yeah, and I actually, and I don't know why I was reflecting on this the other day, and maybe it was just kind of after we touched upon this maybe at dinner, we were talking about my getting the certification, and I actually remember asking you when we first started training, and I was running late, and we were going to do a later session. I needed to eat something first, and you were like, just grab something small, like a healthy snack at home, and I was like, is pizza okay? And I wasn't trying to be funny. It was a legitimate question. You were like, no, pizza's not a great choice. I know now why it's not a great choice. But it's been a real learning experience, and it's sort of gone hand in hand the deeper I've gotten with working out and training. Even though I am still a little bit of a novice, it's sort of deepened my approach when it comes to nutrition. So the two have worked hand in hand for me. But I still remember asking about pizza, like whatever that was, like 4 years ago.
That's kind of amazing. I didn't even register. I was probably so appalled that I can't even remember that, and that was pretty.
I remember you tried to encourage me, like if I had an apple at home, like an apple with peanut butter would be better.
Right.
We weren't worried about organic, whether peanuts were a legume or a legitimate nut butter. We were just trying to get away from the pizza.
Right. Distract.
Not to say that I was a bad eater, but I certainly wasn't an educated eater.
Right, and you weren't eating. You weren't eating well. You weren't eating well, and you weren't feeling well. And
I ate a lot of processed carbs, right, for sure. You know, and
you were
a lot
more
of them
a carbitarian.
Well, you know, a lot of them are labeled as healthy, and we think that they're healthy. Like in our culture, I think granola bars are perceived as healthy. A lot of these packaged goods, and I was certainly eating way too many of all those things.
Well, there's kind of a telltale sign. If something is labeled healthy, it is not. And if something is labeled...
It shouldn't have to advertise.
Yes.
It should speak for itself.
There you go. And I also find if it says tasty, there's some...
What says tasty?
Oh,
like a
my
tasty
God.
cake?
Oh, no, just like, no, not like in the name, but in the description. Like, oh, it's so delicious. It's so tasty. That means that something was put in it to make it, quote, tasty, because it is not very tasty otherwise.
All right. So note to everybody, avoid terminology tasty when you see it on packaging.
Well, just avoid packaged food. But kind of moving through that, I've seen your you had problems with sort of dark circles under your eyes, and a lot of that's cleared up since eating high quality fats and meats, and I think that's a part of your transformation too, and I think learning a lot of why that's happened. I've now watched you dive deeper into the science, because I think you had this experience, sort of this story to tell, and this way that you could help coach other people, and you have this more I don't know, like habit-based, balanced human perspective, and I'm just kind of like all in. So you
because I remember not that I'm not a real person, but I remember what it's like to be a regular person in the real world, and you're just like, well, just suck it up. And I'm like, well, no, there's stuff that you have to consider.
Hey, I make athletes unbreakable, and I make regular people into athletes. Like, let's get our game on.
Sure. I mean, that's important too. But I think this is more always kind of just reflecting on those everyday issues that whether you're unbreakable or not, you're going to stumble upon. Dealing with lunch at work, and having to go out to dinner with your family, just working through those things and trying to make the best choices that you can, because you still want to enjoy your life and not let your health concerns or your pursuit of health take over. Paralyze you, or kind of like ostracize or make you feel like you have to retreat from the world. I guess my sort of view, and maybe that's part of my journey, is I think you can have both.
Well,
was that your podcast voice?
No, that was my lady's voice.
Oh, right.
So, and now I've seen you kind of like looking. You spent a lot of time, and just I've seen you invest so much into the psychology of